Hello, everybody. So as she said, my name is Dan McEleney. I'm co-founder of, she said Giphy Cat, I say Jiffy Cat, so I don't know, maybe we should just get it right out of the gate here. Is it GIF or GIF? The conversation comes up probably every 6 months on the internet, and I don't think there's ever going to be a winner, so I'm officially agnostic on it, but I do say GIF to honor the creator's wishes. So, but if you say GIF, I'm all for it. Just come to our website and enjoy GIFs or GIFs. So I'm talking about the evolution of the 1-minute video. So first, I just kind of want to take a step back and say, short form content is everywhere. You see Twitter where you have to distill your thoughts down to 140 characters in the hopes that, you're getting across exactly what you want in that 140 characters. That can be challenging. You have Instagram where you're picking the exact right photo or video for the moment that you kind of want to publish. Again, that's kind of a short form content where you're curating it. You have Musical.ly, you have Snapchat in there where you're trying to choose, something disposable, but you're still trying to make it interesting for the people that are watching your content. And then you have Giphy Cat, which is where we come in. So at Giphy Cat, we do have, I don't know, that's not animating, that's unfortunate. But we do have GIFs that, what they do is, GIFs are able to distill a video moment down to kind of its essential core factors. So in this case, there's a GIF of Donald Trump and Macron, and they are kind of having a battle over who's going to leave the handshake first. I wish the GIF was playing because it's pretty interesting. It's interesting to be able to see it loop over and over. And oftentimes you'll look at it and you'll see something new the next time that it loops again. You don't need sound because it was created in such a way that sound isn't important. You're just seeing the dynamics of these two leaders at play, and you get to watch it over and over again and pick out different nuances in both people's reactions. So in order to know where we are or where we're going, we have to know where we've been. So the GIF it turned 30 years old recently, and it was created in 1987 by a guy named Steve Lillywhite, and he was working for CompuServe at the time. And really, they needed an image format that was sort of interesting, that it could animate and be able to show you something dynamic. And so these are, relics of the 80s or 90s. So if you recognize these, you're probably old like me. The dancing baby and the construction GIF were ubiquitous on every website back in the late 90s. But GIFs were great, but unfortunately they had limitations. They were 256 colors. They were fairly large, 4, 5, 6, 7 megabytes, so sometimes they were painful to load, and it really took forever sometimes. So what you had after the GIF was Flash. I don't know if everyone remembers Flash or not. Flash was very popular with really animated content. This is a video called Star Wars Gangster Rap from 2000. It went viral. Lots of people might remember this one. But Flash was interesting because, it had pretty good frame rate. It looked really nice when it was on a web page, but it was very hard to actually create a Flash animation. If anyone's ever played with it, you had to play with timelines and everything else, and it could be quite time-consuming and very frustrating. Another example of a popular video from that moment was the Badgers one. It was really annoying. It had a very catchy sort of a song, but still fairly annoying. So from there, we went to YouTube. And YouTube was revolutionary, obviously. In 2005, it was founded. And what it did was basically their motto was broadcast yourself. So they democratized video creation, and they were able to put it up for anyone to come to their website and be able to upload a video of themselves or interesting content and edit it right there and publish for people to see. Before that, people were just using handheld cameras and things of that nature to actually do this type of video shooting. So it was a precursor to the mobile phone. But the mobile phone sort of changed everything in terms of short-form content. YouTube was, as I mentioned, created in the pre-smartphone era, so people were using handheld cameras and that type of thing. But today now, most people are using their mobile phones. So the internet is basically, more than 70% of it is mobile, and 73% of that traffic is video. So it's definitely changed the way that people are using videos today. And this is GIF of a Vine, the now defunct Vine, but a Vine nonetheless. But it shows you that this short form content is still can be interesting, still can be fun, and anyone can create it at this point. So, as you've noticed, some of my GIFs are working, but hopefully most of them are going to be working. But this is a GIF of an example of GIF content that we get on GIFyCat. So we're actually not GIFs. We started the sort of change in the way that GIFs are delivered on the internet. We were the first ones to deliver GIF as video, WebM or MP4, instead of the .gif format. So what that did was it reduced the file size 10 to 20 times smaller than a GIF. So instead of it being 4 or 5 megabytes, it was, as I said, a 10th or 20th of that. So we're talking kilobytes at that point. That really opens the door for your mobile phone. So I can send you a GIF, and it's not going to consume your data, which is very important to people. So as I said, we were the first ones to be able to do this, and now a whole bunch of other places have copied us. Imager and Tumblr and other places now deliver a lot of their GIF content as WebM or MP4. So as the speaker that was before me, they introduced me. We were on Reddit, and we noticed people using GIFs a lot, and we thought, oh, this is interesting. People are just using GIFs to be able to give you the highlight moment. What's the best part about that video? So sometimes it was a soccer goal, or sometimes it was a handshake, and it never needed to have sound because the way that they've created it is so interesting that you never need sound. That's just the essence of a GIF or a GIF. And so after we noticed this, we carefully seeded it in different communities on Reddit, and from there we sort of blew up. So now we're at 400 million page views per month, 50 million users, and still growing. So we're the largest user-generated platform for this kind of content. And what makes it great is that our content is very, very high quality as opposed to the GIF. So we have now millions of colors instead of being limited by 256 colors. We're much lighter weight, and everyone has a mobile phone that you can upload direct video to our website. So it really removes that barrier to entry, and it democratizes the GIF so that anyone here can create a GIF and send it to their friends. And one of the things we like to say is now, the reason why you'd send a GIF as opposed to video is right now I could send you a YouTube link, but you're probably not going to watch it right now. You usually will need headphones, and there's some sort of friction to the consumption of that kind of content. Are you going to watch it later tonight in your hotel room or back at home? Maybe. Depends on if you like my talk or not, and you thought maybe what I was sending was interesting enough. But chances are you're going to forget about that. But if I send you a GIF, I could consume a GIF right now, and you guys wouldn't even know. I'd pull out my phone, he's just checking a message, and could be a GIF about me doing something stupid right now and just looped over and over again. So that's really interesting for us. It's not just about fun moments or highlight reel stuff, but it's also reaction kind of content you can share with your friends, and that type of thing. My clicker is not working. Eric, can you do me a favor and... Thank you. So short form content is not just about entertainment, it's also a powerful tool. So in some of our partnerships that we've built with different areas, we've noticed that GIF users get sent 250% more messages. So you'll see stuff like that in Tinder. They've added a GIF button, and there's studies that show that you get better response from another person if you use a GIF in an interesting and unique way. It actually can increase revenue and sales context. So if you look at Dell, they saw 109% increase in revenues when they were using GIFs. And it also is changing the way that consumers kind of consume this kind of content. So on Facebook, you'll notice that they made a change. Now it's been a while, but videos play automatically. Sometimes that's pretty annoying, but lots of times a GIF is used in place of that because the GIF is, again, created in such a way that it's designed to capture your attention in the first 3 or 4 seconds and be engaging and hopefully spur you on to other things. So now we're actually seeing an evolution in the way that GIFs were before. We used to take any size GIF and convert it to a WebM or MP4 and be able to send that out. Just because our original reason for existing was because we wanted to eliminate bloated GIFs and save people's bandwidth on their mobile phones. But more and more people are using this kind of content to record stuff like gameplays for Overwatch. If there's anyone that plays Overwatch here, you probably have seen a Jiffy Cat of someone's best moment on Overwatch. And stuff like recipe GIFs, which it's kind of an interesting vertical, but they are ones that use Jiffy Cat quite often for their recipe GIF. So what I have here is an example of a recipe GIF. I'm not sure if it's gonna, it's about a minute and a bit long, which might seem kind of odd for a recipe GIF, but a lot of the vertical that is using this is doing it a lot for stuff that if they want to send it to their wife, say, hey, you want to make this for dinner tonight? Your wife can consume that anywhere. Again, it's that frictionless consumption that you can get with GIFs that you can't get with anything else. So I can watch this in a lineup at Starbucks, and I'm not going to need to put in my headset to be able to hear it. Now you have to sprinkle cinnamon or anything else. The GIF is designed in such a way that you're going to know exactly what goes into that recipe and exactly what the outcome is at the very end of it. So there's definitely room for these 1 minute sort of GIFs. We think that always you should, when you're creating a GIF, distill it down to the best moment. So in a sports highlight, it's going to be a goal, and that's only going to be 5 or 6 seconds. But for a gaming moment, sometimes you want to see the lead up to it, exactly what the person was doing, or how they set up. And that is interesting to the types of people that follow that kind of content. So that's the end result for, doesn't that look delicious? That's the end result for those pancakes. And so today we were releasing the fact that we're opening up 1 minute to everybody so that people can create new and interesting content that they were able to share with their friends and share around the internet community. So here's another interesting GIF of a killer whale kind of doing its thing. And then my last slide is not working either. Basically, it was a guy going up on somebody's shoulders, and they throw a beer. Oh, here we go. And he's able to snatch the beer right out of the... So I was hoping someone would throw a beer at me at the end of my talk here, and I'd be able to snatch it up, but I don't think... It was all glass bottles, I think, so I don't know if that's such a good idea. But I was kind of hoping for that. So essentially, that's it. So we think that at GiffyCat, we think that 1 minute GIFs are kind of the wave of the future, and that short form content like this is kind of here to stay. It's stuff that you create all the time. It's stuff that is shared often now on Facebook and Twitter and Tumblr and everywhere else, that people are using not only reactions to respond to someone's GIF or their text to them, but also to be able to just respond on Facebook or Twitter or that kind of place. So that's it. That's all I have. So I think there's an option for questions. If there's no questions, thanks very much for your time.